Chicago, famous for its towering skyline, bustling streets, and the endless rhythm of life. On most days, the city moves like clockwork, its people caught up in the familiar routines of work, school, and fleeting moments in between. But sometimes, the ordinary is disrupted by something extraordinary, something that makes you stop and question everything. It was a seemingly normal Saturday afternoon on Michigan Avenue. The sun hung high over downtown, casting long shadows across the city. Shoppers filled the sidewalks, tourists snapped photos, and the world spun on as it always does. But inside a modest McDonald's, a moment was unfolding that would soon captivate millions. Lionel Messi, arguably the greatest soccer player of our time, had just stepped inside. No fanfare, no security entourage, just Messi alone, in search of a quick meal. To the casual observer, it might have seemed like a rare glimpse of a global superstar living an ordinary life. But for one young boy, it was the beginning of a story that would change everything. As we reflect on this real-life story, subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for more daily stories that need to be heard. Hit that subscribe button, and let us hear from you in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Now let's continue. 13-year-old Jamal stood across the street, unaware that his life was about to collide with his heroes in a way he could never have imagined. A devoted fan, Jamal knew everything about Messi, his stats, his records, even the stories behind his iconic goals. His room was a tribute to the Argentine legend, filled with jerseys, posters, and a pair of replica golden boots that he saved for months to buy. When Jamal spotted Messi through the window, time seemed to stop. His heart raced, his breath caught in his throat. Was it really him? Could this be the moment he had dreamed of? With trembling hands and a surge of courage, Jamal shouted the name that had echoed in stadiums around the world, Lionel Messi. The soccer legend paused mid-step. Slowly, he turned toward the voice, locking eyes with the boy sprinting toward him. A brief smile crossed Messi's face as he knelt to meet Jamal at eye level. What followed was a scene that would melt hearts, a young fan meeting his idol in the most unexpected of places. But what seemed like a heartwarming coincidence was far from ordinary. Because behind the cheers, behind the smiles, there was more to this encounter than anyone could have anticipated. And what came next left everyone questioning if this meeting was truly by chance, or if something much larger was at play. Michigan Avenue, known to many as the heart of Chicago. A place where luxury stores meet bustling cafes, where tourists and locals weave together in a tapestry of city life. It was here, amidst the hum of traffic and the chatter of weekend shoppers, that Lionel Messi, a man who needs no introduction, walked unnoticed among the crowd. Messi had just wrapped up a charity event, one of many in a life defined not only by skill on the field, but also by quiet generosity off it. His next destination? A modest McDonald's tucked between the towering buildings. It was an unassuming choice for a man of his stature, but perhaps that was the point. A moment of simplicity in a life that rarely allowed it. Just across the street, Jamal and his mother, Teresa, were finishing an afternoon of errands. For Jamal, every step he took was fueled by a singular dream, to one day stand where Messi stood, to play on the grandest stages, and to hear crowds chant his name. At only 13, he was already a prodigy, known in his neighborhood for his unmatched skill and relentless dedication. His bedroom was a testament to that dream. Walls adorned with posters of Messi's most iconic moments, shelves lined with trophies from local tournaments. And in the corner, resting on a display stand, a pair of golden boots, a replica of the ones Messi wore when he won his first Ballon d'Or. To Jamal, those boots weren't just a symbol of greatness. They were a promise. A reminder that with hard work, anything was possible. As Teresa guided him down the street, Jamal's gaze wandered. And then, as if guided by instinct, his eyes locked onto a figure stepping into McDonald's. The unmistakable walk, the posture, the face he had seen 1,000 times before on TV, in magazines, and in his dreams. I do hope you have subscribed already, as it is about to get really interesting. Lionel Messi. Right there. Just a few feet away. Jamal's heart leaped. His mind raced, trying to process the impossible sight before him. He tugged on his mother's arm, his voice barely more than a whisper at first. "Mom, it's him. It's Messi." Teresa, skeptical, glanced toward the restaurant. And in that moment, her son's dream collided with reality. But dreams, as we often learn, come with their own twists. Because while Jamal believed this was a chance encounter, a moment of fate, it was far from simple. And soon, both he and his mother would realize that this meeting carried consequences they could never have imagined. As Lionel Messi stepped through the glass doors of McDonald's, the world around him seemed to fade into the background. The chatter of customers, the hum of the city outside, it all became distant noise. For Messi, it was just a quick stop. For Jamal, it was the moment his dreams had been building toward. Jamal stood frozen on the sidewalk, his mind racing to comprehend what his eyes were seeing. Was it really him? Could it be? The man whose name echoed in stadiums across the globe, standing just a few feet away, in the most ordinary of places. Instinct took over. Without hesitation, Jamal shouted, "Lionel Messi! Lionel Messi!" His voice, filled with a mix of disbelief and excitement, cut through the noise of the busy street. Messi paused mid-step. Slowly, he turned, scanning the crowd until his eyes met Jamal's. And then, he smiled. Not the rehearsed smile of a celebrity accustomed to fans, but a genuine, warm expression, as if in that moment, he understood what it meant to the young boy before him. Time seemed to slow as Messi walked toward Jamal, the city fading further into the background. He knelt down, meeting Jamal at eye level, as though they were equals, as though the barriers of fame and distance didn't exist. "What's your name?" Messi asked, his voice calm and sincere, as if the world's greatest player had all the time in the world for one young fan. "Jamal," the boy replied, his voice trembling with awe. "I've followed you my whole life. I want to be just like you someday." Messi listened, nodding thoughtfully. There was something in his eyes, a quiet understanding, a recognition of the boy's passion and determination. He glanced up at Jamal's mother, Teresa, as if to confirm the boy's words. And then it happened. The moment that would leave everyone in the restaurant speechless. Messi reached into his bag and pulled out something unexpected, a special edition silver boot, signed and untouched. He placed it in Jamal's hands, saying, "This is a reminder. Never stop believing in yourself." The crowd that had gathered inside erupted in applause, capturing the heartwarming scene on their phones. It was a storybook moment, the kind that would inspire millions. But as the cheers echoed through the room, a lingering question began to form in the minds of some. Could this really be as perfect as it seemed? Or was there more to this encounter than met the eye? With the silver boot cradled in his hands, Jamal's excitement overflowed. His words tumbled out in a rush, a mix of adrenaline and pure joy. He told Messi everything, how soccer wasn't just a hobby, but his life. How he practiced for hours every day in the small backyard of their apartment. How he studied every match Messi played, mimicking his moves, hoping to one day follow in his footsteps. Messi listened intently, his gaze never leaving Jamal. His expression shifted, no longer just a friendly encounter, but something deeper. He saw himself in the young boy. The same fire, the same relentless drive. and perhaps the same obstacles waiting ahead. Messi turned to Teresa, Jamal's mother, who stood quietly by, watching her son experience the moment of a lifetime. "Is he serious about soccer?" Messi asked, his voice low and thoughtful. Teresa's eyes filled with emotion. "He's serious," she said softly. "It's all he talks about, all he dreams about." And then, Lionel Messi did something that left the entire restaurant in stunned silence. He looked back at Jamal and said, "How about this? I'll sponsor you to train at my soccer academy in Madrid. All expenses paid." For a moment, there was only silence. The kind of silence that comes when something unbelievable happens. And then, applause. A wave of cheers erupted from the crowd inside McDonald's. Customers, employees, even passers-by who had stopped to watch through the windows, everyone clapped, their faces lit with awe and admiration. But Messi wasn't finished. He reached into his bag once more and handed Jamal a second gift, a limited edition silver boot, sleek and polished, unlike anything Jamal had ever seen. "This," Messi said, "is a reminder of what you can achieve. Keep it with you, and remember, greatness is within your reach." And then, turning to Teresa, he handed her something equally unexpected, a check for $10,000. "This is to help with the transition," Messi explained. "Moving to a new country isn't easy. Use it for whatever you need." Teresa's hands trembled as she accepted the check, tears welling up in her eyes. The gravity of the moment sank in. Her son's dream was no longer just a dream. It was real, tangible, and it was all happening in the most unlikely of places. For Jamal, it was a day he would never forget. But as news of Messi's generosity spread like wildfire across social media and news outlets, some began to wonder, was this act of kindness purely from the heart? Or was there more to the story? News of Lionel Messi's remarkable gesture spread like wildfire, captivating millions across the globe. Headlines painted it as a fairy tale come to life, a chance encounter between a soccer legend and a young fan that changed everything. Social media was flooded with videos of the moment, hashtags celebrating Messi's kindness, and heartfelt messages praising the superstar's generosity. But not everyone was convinced. As the story gained momentum, whispers of doubt began to surface. Why would Messi, one of the world's most recognizable figures, make such a spontaneous, life-altering offer in a fast food restaurant, with cameras conveniently capturing every second? Could there be more to the story? Journalists and investigative reporters began to dig deeper, looking for clues that might explain this seemingly too perfect encounter. Was it a genuine act of kindness? Or was something else at play? Sports analysts and former players joined the conversation, their skepticism making headlines. It's rare for someone like Messi to make such a significant decision on a whim, one commentator noted. There's usually a lot of planning behind the scenes for something like this. Then, a breakthrough. Leaked emails surfaced, correspondence between Messi's management team and Jamal's family. The emails, dated weeks before the encounter, hinted at something unexpected, an arrangement. Discussions of Jamal's soccer potential, the media impact of a charitable gesture, and the logistics of enrolling him in the academy in Madrid. The narrative shifted. Was this heartfelt moment in McDonald's truly a chance encounter? Or had it been carefully orchestrated as part of a larger strategy, a way to boost Messi's philanthropic image ahead of an important sponsorship deal? The public was divided. Some believed the story had been fabricated from the start, a well-executed publicity stunt. Others argued that even if it had been planned, the outcome was still life-changing for Jamal, and that was all that mattered. As debates raged on talk shows, news outlets, and social media, One question remained at the center of it all. Was Jamal's encounter with Lionel Messi a miraculous twist of fate, or a meticulously crafted event designed to captivate the world? Despite the swirling questions and the growing skepticism surrounding that unforgettable day at McDonald's, one thing remained undeniably true. Jamal and Teresa were on their way to Madrid. A new chapter had begun, one that would forever change the trajectory of their lives. The soccer academy was everything Jamal had dreamed of and more. Upon arriving in Madrid, he was greeted by state-of-the-art facilities, world-class coaches, and young athletes from every corner of the globe, each one eager to carve out their place in the world of soccer. Jamal was no longer just a young boy with a dream. He was now part of something much bigger, a family of aspiring players who shared his passion and drive. Messi, ever the mentor, kept in touch with Jamal. His guidance was more than just occasional advice. It was a steady presence, a reminder that Jamal was not alone on this journey. Whether it was a word of encouragement, a strategic tip, or a personal check-in, Messi's involvement in Jamal's life extended far beyond that fateful day in McDonald's. Years passed, and Jamal's hard work began to pay off. He honed his skills, growing both as a player and as a person. The dream that had once seemed so distant, being a professional soccer player, was now within his reach. His story, one of perseverance, talent, and the transformative power of an extraordinary moment, became an inspiration to countless others. But more than just a success story, Jamal's journey was a testament to the importance of seizing opportunity, even when the odds seem impossible. It was a reminder that sometimes the most incredible moments in life are born from the most unexpected places. Today, Jamal is not just a professional soccer player. He is a beacon of hope for others who dare to dream big. And while the world may never know the full story behind that fateful encounter, one thing is clear. For Jamal, it wasn't just the offer of a lifetime, it was the beginning of a new life. But was it fate? Was it mere coincidence? Or perhaps, as some would argue, was it something much more carefully planned behind the scenes, a calculated move to align Messi's image with an unforgettable act of kindness? As we reflect on this story, it's clear that one thing remains uncertain: the true motives behind Lionel Messi's extraordinary offer. Was it an act of selfless generosity or a strategic moment orchestrated to leave a lasting impact on the world? We may never know the full story, but one thing is certain: the outcome changed Jamal's life forever. So we ask you, the viewers, what do you think? Was Messi's encounter with Jamal the work of pure fate? Or was there more to this than meets the eye? Could it have been part of a grander plan, an unexpected twist in the story of one of the world's greatest soccer players? We want to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below. Was this a genuine act of kindness, or was something else at play? Your opinion matters to us. Join our community of people who believe in justice, empathy, and powerful storytelling. By subscribing, you are not just watching. You're part of a movement that values real stories and change. Add US to your daily routine and make every story count. Subscribe and join US each day for stories that make an impact. And if this story moved you, if you believe in the power of unexpected encounters and life-changing moments, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more true crime-inspired tales. We have countless more stories that will keep you guessing, reflecting, and inspired. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We'll see you in the next one.